My next claim is, because we just talked about it, let's keep it going. The 2001 Lakers are the greatest team in NBA history.
2001, that was nice. Whether it be Shaq, whether it be Kobe, Tyronn Lue.
You just listed Tyronn Lue as one of their good players.
He's all right. I mean, I'm making you look kind of bad because without Shaq, without Kobe, without other players, I mean, what do the Lakers really have? Rick Fox was nice, but was he always wet? Nah, not really. And who did they go against? 2001 76ers, Allen Iverson. They stole game one, and Kobe was in the locker room. That little mother.
Are you saying that the Sixers weren't good that year?
No, I'm not saying they wasn't good.
Are you diminishing the Sixers?
What I'm saying is.
Can I tell you something about the Sixers that year, please?
Yeah.
Because you
can
clearly don't know.
But I do. But
go on then. Tell me about their accolades that year.
I mean,
Tell me what they did. Tell me what they did.
Okay. You had the sixth man that year.
Sixth man of the year that year, correct? Aaron McKee.
You had the.
No, it was go. Keep going.
You had Snow. You had the head coach of the year.
Head coach of the year as well. Larry Brown, coach of the year that year.
You had the Kembe Mutombo.
Who was what that year?
Defensive
player of the year that year.
I see what you're trying to do.
And Allen Iverson, who was the league MVP
that
year.
He was.
And they won 56 games, which was tied for the Lakers as the second highest win total that season. And you're talking about the Sixers that year were some scrub team. Are you kidding me?
I didn't say they was a scrub team. I'm saying they was good, but if we're being honest, was they only just good in the East? Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up. What did they do in the West? Can we go over what the Lakers did in the West that year?
Yeah, the Lakers did a lot, but wasn't that the same season that old boy was throwing some money on the Sacramento Kings game? No,
that was the following. That was 2002.
That was 2002. Either or. I mean,
come on, get your numbers right.
Hold on. That Lakers team. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they were playing pretty good, but who did they really play against? They played a good team, but it was a led team.
I can tell you who they played. Since you can't tell us, let me tell us who they played.
Okay.
They had the second hardest run in NBA history based on SRS. That's simple
you keep
rating
talking about
system.
numbers. Who is SRS? What are these numbers?
That is simple rating system. It tracks not only how many games his opponents won, but how they won those games against the quality of opponents that they faced. So it was the second most difficult run ever in league history based on SRS, behind only the 95 Houston Rockets. However, that 2001 Lakers team against that difficult field of all 50-plus win opponents, the Lakers produced the second highest margin of victory per game throughout that postseason. So wait a second. The team that faced the second hardest run ever beat that field by the second highest number ever?
Didn't Kobe say, we are lucky that Allen Iverson is not at least, 6-something?
Is that your argument right now?
Yeah, that is my
argument.
argument.
If Allen Iverson was 6'6", that would have been a harder series?
I mean, Kobe said it.
Interesting.
Kobe said it. So that's proving my point.
I'm sorry, KJ, I cannot speculate on what would happen if Allen Iverson grew 6 inches.
Kobe said it.
Kobe said it.
Kobe said we're lucky AI's not taller.
Can I give you two teams that I would put up there that rival that?
100%.
So, I mean, I think the obvious one is the 72-10 Chicago Bulls. I think the fact they have the all-time win record, winning that championship that year, best player or second best player of all time, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen again. I would argue, arguably the most underrated player of all time. There's that one. Another underrated team I'm going to give you, though, and, I don't have I'll be honest with you, I don't have the advanced metrics to back it up, but from watching that team, the 2014 San Antonio Spurs, the depth that team held, the ball movement, the way the system they played in with Greg Popovich, the aging stars they had, the ability for them to turn back the clock, those three in Ginobili, Tony Parker, and Tim Duncan, and guys like Patty Mills, Boris Diaw playing, well above, I think, their talent level, but within that system, watching that team, the dominance they went on, I would put those two teams as rivals to that 01 Lakers team, despite how great that team was.
Yeah, and the reason, look, you brought up a great full team in San Antonio, and there are no doubt better complete 1 through 10 teams, like a myriad of them throughout the history of NBA. But the reason why I think so highly of the 2001 Lakers, first of all, is because of the accomplishments that I just read
Kobe
off.
Bryant
Is the fact that they did play such an extremely difficult path to get the championship, they obliterated the field. They went 15-1 against that field and produced the second highest margin of differential against the second hardest run ever, and they ended the year that year in the regular season on an 8-0 run. So they really were 23-1 in their last 24 games that year. The only loss was to that 76ers team in overtime. That was the sole blemish. But in addition to the tangible accomplishments that I just produced, it's the only time in NBA history, in my opinion, that the two best players in the world in their prime were on the same team doing their thing, which was Shaq and Kobe. That's why they were so unstoppable. In that postseason, average nightly scoring in the playoffs that year, 93 points per game. So think about that, 93 points per game. Now listen to what Shaq and Kobe did in that postseason for 16 games. 30 and 15 for Shaq per game.
I know what the averages were.
7 and 6 for Kobe on average.
Yep.
Those two guys were laying that down against that defensive field that they were playing, and they did that again in that era at 93 points per game. Like, we've never seen two dominant, and they just, the front court and the back court, like, they complemented each other perfectly. That's why I just don't think any team is beating them 4 times out of 7.
And I want to correct myself about the Chicago Bulls. It was the win record at the time. Obviously, the Warriors ended up completing that. They would have been the greatest team of all time, in my opinion, if they didn't choke to the greatest player of all time, LeBron James. But that's besides the point. Michael, that Chicago Bulls team, again, I mentioned that Spurs team because to me, I think they're one of the forgotten championship teams, and they deserve to be mentioned. I'll finish off with this. The Chicago Bulls team, to me, when you have the best record coupled with that championship, I just think that combination of the two of them, despite everything that you mentioned, because you're not wrong in what you're saying, that Chicago Bulls team to complete that three-peat, the ability again to win 72 games and win that title coupled all together, to me that just can't be rivaled. But listen, good point.
Who would Shaq guard if they played the Golden State Warriors with KD, Steph Curry, and the death lineup?
Who would guard Shaq?
I'm asking you a question.
Well, their center
an evolution
technically
of
was
the
Draymond
game.
Green.
There's an evolution of the game.
Draymond Green played the majority of their minutes at big.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's 6'6", 230 pounds,
If
bro.
you don't guard Draymond, he's going to initiate all the offense. Everything's going to go crazy. Steph Curry's going to be having gravity. You give it to KD, he's an instant bucket, a better scorer than Kobe Bryant.
Not even close. But who's going to guard? You asked me who's going to guard, who's Shaq going to guard. Who's going to guard Shaq? Draymond then will guard Shaq at the other end. Draymond Green, hold on.
You're good at stats. Wait, give me one thing. You're good at stats, right?
Yeah.
What's worth more, 3 or 2?
Who's going to shoot a higher percentage, a dunk or a three-point shot?
With Steph and
Three-point
KD?
three-point
They're
shooting,
very efficient.
Three-point shooting is about
With
what,
Steph and
30,
KD?
35%?
Two of the greatest three-point shooters ever?
37%?
Two of the
35, 37%? What's Shaq shooting at the basket with Draymond Green
Another
on?
thing.
80%?
You just talked
90%?
about how Kobe had a terrible supporting cast. Who's their third best player? You named Draymond Green.
There were some good defenders, though, on that team. There are good
can I say
defenders on that
something?
team.
Draymond Green is a Hall of Famer. You said the third best player was Derek Fisher, and you said he's not good, which made Kobe Bryant better in your mind. You dissed your own supporting cast, and now you're saying they're the greatest team ever. Depth matters.
I'm saying from a defensive standpoint, you're asking who's going to guard. They had good perimeter defenders on that 2001 team.
You just dissed the supporting cast, and now you're saying they're the greatest team ever.
In terms of offensive firepower, sure. When you look at the 2001
So how are they the
run,
greatest team?
Because they had the two best players in the NBA.
How about
on one
depth
team.
Of scoring?
When has that ever happened?
How about depth of
when
scoring?
has it ever happened that the two best players in their primes were on one team at one time?
KD, Kevin Durant.
They were,
I mean,
so they
KD,
were better
Steph
than
Curry.
LeBron. So they were
Scottie
better.
Pippen,
They were
Michael
both
Jordan,
better.
and Michael Jordan would be the best player on the court. Clearly, even you admit that.
The other player, though, I'm saying the top two, Shaq and Kobe, were the two best players in the world at that time in their primes. Steph and KD were not the best two players. LeBron James was
because LeBron wasn't in his prime. Exactly.
Pippen
LeBron would have been the best player back then.
Pippen was not the second best player.
LeBron would have been the best player back then. So what are you talking about? You're not even comparing 2 on 2.
I'm saying in the context that we're talking about, there has never been a time in the league where the two best players
you
at
keep
that
saying the same thing
time
over and over again.
Are, right. So but you're not answering it though. But if I may, let me just finish your point that you started with. Draymond Green logged a substantial amount of minutes as the big on that team that you're referencing. Draymond Green's height and weight list, 6'6", 230 pounds. That's what he's listed as.
He's one of the greatest. Can I finish my point? He's one of the greatest defenders to ever live, and he initiates offense.
He's
more of a point guard than a big.
He's 6'6", 230. He would be guarding Shaq, whose list weight and height was 7'1", 325. He's a half a foot taller and 100 pounds heavier. And that's the answer they have for Shaquille O'Neal. And that's the team you bring to me. Is that Warriors team? Because what? You think that they're going to be able to run around and shoot more threes?
They
are. That 2001
There's
team
the evolution of the game.
That 2001 team had good perimeter defenders, though.
Who?
Kobe Bryant and Rick Fox.
Rick Fox?
Rick Fox was a good perimeter defender.
You know that supporting cast wasn't good. You said it yourself in your own argument, and now you're also saying they're the greatest team.
That doesn't mean they can't defend the three-point shooters.
They were
Golden
not.
State was going to throw at them.
72-10 Bulls, better. Those Warriors team, better. Celtics won 9 out of 11 back then. I would even say Bird, McHale, and Parrish as a trio is better than any trio the Lakers ever had, especially in that era.
Definitely not the 80s Showtime. Are you kidding me?
a better team than that 2001 Lakers team is the 2016 Cavs that came back down from 3-1 to beat the Warriors. So they won the first 2 series in a sweep. Marcus Smart
Who'd they play?
Doesn't matter. They sweep. They beat the competition. They destroyed them. Then
Not as bad as the 2001 team did to their competition, against better competition. Go ahead.
Okay. Then Marcus Smart hit a lucky shot. They would have sweeped the Celtics to make it to the next round. Okay. Then they come down against what was the greatest team of all time at the time, 73-9, the death lineup, and they come back and they win 3-1. And not only that, they won in a myriad of ways, which is one of your favorite words, okay? They won,
like that word.
They won in a low-scoring game in Game 7. They would win in a high-scoring games. I don't have all the advanced stats, but they could win in all these different types of ways. And the question that you've been asking everyone, who would guard Shaq? There's 2 people who would guard Shaq. One, Kevin Love. Look at what he did against Steph Curry. He could also
respond to this. He just,
look at what he did against Steph Curry. You remember
that?
that? Remember the play against Steph Curry? He could also do that against Shaq. And also the Cavs had Delly. There's nobody on the Lakers who could have guarded Delly, all right?
Shaq did that spin move, dunked on someone, put his crotch up in his face, and then pushed him over? That would be against Kevin Love every single time.
Do you remember what
hang on. The Warriors were 73-9 in the regular season. Do you know what their record was that year in the playoffs?
They lost 7 games.
No, they lost 8 games. They were 15-8.
yeah.
They were 15. Okay. So they were 73-9 in the regular season, but they were only 15-8 in the playoffs, and they were down 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals and getting obliterated by the Oklahoma City Thunder until Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook threw up all over themselves in Game 6 and let them come back and win. That was a different Warriors team at that time. They were depreciated. Curry was hurt. We had the Draymond Green suspension. Other players on that team, bigs predominantly, got hurt on that Warriors team as well. So yes, they came back and they won a 7-game series with Kyrie Irving cooking as well as LeBron in games 5, 6, and 7. But they didn't beat anybody to get out of the East. So I do not put that Cavs team very highly myself. But interesting point. Kevin Love versus Shaq head to head. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with that.